Okay, Paul, I think you can start. We can see your screen. You can start the session.
Oh yeah, just wait. So we have everyone in, right?
Yeah, we have everyone other than those two students who are missing.
No, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. So as I was discussing last week, that this week I'm going to show you that how does a bot actually works, and how does an UI path looks like. So this is what is we call as the UiPath Studio platform, where we generally do the coding for developing a bot. So there are a lot of aspects to it. I think in the video you would have got a glimpse about this platform, right? So there are three components to it. We call as UiPath Studio, but if I go and search in my system, you see I have something called as UiPath Studio, and I have something called as UiPath Robot. So if I click on UiPath Robot, it opens me a robot window like this. So these are all interconnected. So as of now, I haven't connected my studio with my robot in the UI path. So how the connection happens is you can generally connect it by using the concept of orchestrator, right, which comes up through your which is in web interface. So that's completely a different story. But here, unless and until you are connected through an orchestrator, see it says orchestrator not connected. That means I haven't connected my UiPath Studio to my orchestrator yet. But anyways, I can always run my studio as an independent platform, where if I have coded anything, I can still go ahead and run it, and it will show me how does the automation exactly works. So generally, whenever we deploy any project, we get the projects packaged here in this format. So I'm not sure if this is gonna work. Okay. So now what generally happens is whenever your project gets ready, right? Let's say I have coded it here in this platform. Currently, I know that my the datas are set. My project is completely ready. I go and hit this button called as publish. Okay. So once I click on publish, this entire coding that I have done in this platform, right? Whatever boxes, whatever everything images you are seeing, these are all the conditions and a way that I have coded the current program. So everything would get packaged and it creates me one single file. Now, whenever it gets packaged, my package data will always arrive here. Okay. Now, even though when I connect it with an orchestrator and my robot is connected to the web interface orchestrator, you can trigger the bots online from anywhere, right? But as of now, we don't have the orchestrator concept. So let's say I have pre-deployed few processes. So this is a demo one, this is a demo two. Now UiPath recently launched a feature called as multiple background process. Multiple background process execution in the sense, see, this is one single robot license or a robot agent, right? But one single robot agent can go ahead and run n number of, I think, multiple background processes. Okay, I think it can execute at least 100 as of now together. Now, background process, by background process I mean you have to hard code everything that the automation has to perform. There should not be any element of an UI. UI means user interface. So let's say I want to click on any of the cell in an Excel file. Okay, I want to click here in my automation. That means it is requiring the involvement of the interface. That means I'm using my Windows UI to get some input or output. But except those automations, anything that has to run absolutely full-fledged without any UI. So let's say I have to upload 200 files at the back end. I have to upload 200 files from a location to a website. Now I can write a script. I mean, I can write a pure play script in Python or VB, right? Which can take the files in my from a folder or which can take the files from a folder and upload it back to a destination. And there is a script that can do it. So that script I can call it back within UiPath once again and ask it to run at the background level without any touch or without any, without any click or without any UI involvement. So in such processes, we call it as a background process, where UiPath says, if you have a full-fledged background process, you can run multiple background processes at the same time and it doesn't impact each other. So I have a demo process 1 and I have a demo process 2. So these are two projects which are pre-published. So you can see it appears here. So the only thing as a user you need to do is, if you're as a developer, once a developer gives you the project published and set it up, and it's an attended bot, all you need to do as an end user, without knowing anything of UiPath, ABCD of UiPath, you just have to click on this play button. Okay, so see, first I executed the play button. It did some task. It is saying this is a background process 1. That means my process is still running. It says, see, job started processing. This is a pause button. This is a stop button. That means my job is still running. So my first demo process has started, but I haven't ended it yet. So just for your visually demonstration purpose, I have kept a message box. So unless and until I click on this OK, the job is not going to end. That means that demo process 1 at the background is still running. The moment I click OK, it ends. Okay, this is how it is coded. Now let's say you have few processes at the background level and you want to run all of them together. What you can do, if it is a background process, the user has to come, click together. See, I have clicked everything. So first I clicked background process 2, okay, and then I click background process 1. See, now both are running. So this is demo 1, which is again is also running. Demo 2 is also running. I can go and pause it. I can go and stop it. But you can see these are two different programs, or it's a single bot agent. It's a single agent of a bot, but it is able to execute two different processes. So demo 1 is a one project for me. Demo 2 is another project for me. These are completely different projects. But if it is working at a background level, both can concurrently run at a Windows platform in UiPath. Now, the moment I say click on, if I say this is a background process 2, I click OK. See, the background process 2 terminates, but the one is still running. Okay. Now, the moment I click OK here, even 2 terminates. So this is how, certain features of UiPath can be utilized in terms of your enhancement of the bots with the recent advancements, right? So multiple background processes can be triggered by one single thing. Now, what I can do is, let's say you have a these are all, let's say, attended level bots, okay, where it is not connected to orchestrator or anything. It is deployed at a workstation of any employee or resource. Now, let's say you need to run this demo bots at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time daily once you log into your office. But maybe, you can say 9 a.m. you might forget. Now, what you say that, okay, let me go ahead and create a reminder. Like in your phone, we keep an alarm or a reminder. You can click on add new reminder and you can just scroll down, select the process name. So whatever processes are published, all the projects will appear here. So let's say demo 2 I need to run. Frequency, what is the frequency? Daily. Okay, what is the time? I can set it to 9 a.m. easily. So let's say this is 9 a.m. Let's say I'm going to start it from today. So 9:18 and save. So every day at 9 a.m. the moment my computer opens, this program is going to give me an alarm that, hey, it will not start the bot. It is not going to trigger the bot because this is not unattended. Whatever you guys have learned, attended, unattended, in unattended orchestration process, you have to schedule a bot to run automatically. That is called as a job. But this is not a job which will trigger my bot at 9 a.m. So let's say current local time in my place is in 6:52. So it's 6 early morning. So let me make it as 6:53 and save. So just at 6:53, you'd see a reminder that, hey, you have to go and run this. But this reminder is not going to trigger the bot because I have configured it to be an attended bot where it needs a human click at that start button to trigger. Now, if my setup is connected to an orchestrator platform as well, where you would have learned that the entire web platform of UiPath controls the bot, which is my UiPath orchestrator. So unattended bots is something like, if I have the orchestrator ready and connected, I don't have to come and click here at this bot manually when I need to run. Okay. So what will happen is when see, it says reminder, background process 2 gives you a button, remind me after 10 minutes, like we snooze in our alarm. You can ignore it, dismiss, or you can directly play it here. I'll say start. See, it started. It says background process 2 executed. The moment I click OK, it stops. So these are as advanced as, very, very recent features in UiPath. Now, what happens is when an unattended bot is there and my agent is connected to the orchestrator thing, which you would have seen in the demonstration video, lesson 5 or 6, there I can go and create a job. That job will send a command to my computer agent of UiPath here that, hey, go and at 6:53, run this process. Run this process means at that time, it will not give you a reminder. It will just directly it will just directly give a command and execute it on your behalf. That's where the concept of unattended bot comes in, where it does not need any human intervention to get started. It is self-sufficient to run at a specific time by its own. You just need to set the configuration up. Okay. So this is how generally your UiPath works. So currently I'm going to quickly show you a task which I have automated. Okay. So there is a website called as RPA challenge. Okay. So this is a site where you find various challenges of RPA related, work that happens. So here they have given a task that they have given a file, excuse me, which I need to pre-download because it contains some data. So the Excel file looks like this. So I have a list of 10 employees. Okay. I have the first name, last name, company, role, address, email, phone number. So let's say these are the data I am extracting from an email. Let's say that some system is sending me an automated email with the list of employees who are onboarding my organization this year. Okay, let's say the HR department is sending me this report and I am an agent at an organization. Now this is 10 or 11, which is very simple. I can manually copy paste and put it there. Let's say I'm getting 500, 600 every day and I need to enter it in the system, which looks like this. So I have to copy the role of the employee. How will you manually do it? You will copy this, you will come here, you will paste it. Where is the email? You will go here, copy this, you will paste it here, right? What is the first name? You come here again, it's John, you paste it. What is the phone number? You come here, you copy this, you come here, you paste it. What is the company name? You come here, you copy this, you go there. Okay, address, you copy this, you go here, tab, you copy this. So this is the task you are doing as an agent, right? So imagine how tedious it is, and you click on submit. Now imagine how tedious it is for you to do repeatedly when I give you a data record of 1000. This is a very small project. Let's say you are a business analyst and this is the project you have got, that whenever there's an HR department email coming in, okay, at an agent level, so the bot has to pick up the email. So the email part I'm just ignoring because I have this sheet ready made now. So the bot has to read the Excel file, copy the entire data from here and go and fill the entries in the web form or the ERP or any other system. Okay. Now, what is the problem or what is the trick with this website is, every time you click on submit, okay, the moment you click on start, okay, the moment you click on start, it is round 1. That means I am having 10 entries, right? 1 to 11, which is 10. So round 1, it is asking me to fill the details in this format. So I have phone number here, I have address here, I have first name, I have last name, I have role, I have company, I have email. So this is the order of the data. But if you see here, my Excel data format is different. My Excel data format is starts with first name, last name, company, role, address, email, phone number. This is the hierarchy if I read from left to right. But the website is having phone number at the top, address there, first name here, last name here, role on the company, company name and email. It's dynamic, right? This hierarchy is not matching with this hierarchy. Now here is the coder, is the developer's trick, that even though my web page is dynamic and not matching in the hierarchy of my data, the bot has to exactly identify that if I'm picking up my email address, if I pick up the name of John here, which is my first name, I need to pick up the phone number of John only and put it here. I cannot put last name of John from here and put it in the phones tab. This would become incorrect, right? Now, another tricky part to this web form is every time you load the page, the alignment of your entries would also change. For example, let's say I give control, I load the page. So did you see anything? Every time I load the page, the format changes. See, first now it is last name, company, email, address, role, first name, phone number. The moment I load it, see, the format changed. Now it is email, role in company, last name, phone number, address, first name, company name. The moment if I again reload the page, see now address is coming at the top, company name is coming at the top, last name is here, first name is here. So every time there is a reload of the page, the field's position in the web page changes, but which does not match in with the hierarchy of the format how I have the data in my Excel. So it is a dynamic web page. So the developer has to develop the bot in such a way that every time whatever format, whatever position of the elements be, my bot has to pick up the right name and put it at the right place. So when I pick the first name from here, I have to go and put the first name here. Now let's say if I reload the page, now again I copy the first name from here, I have to go and put the first name here. Again if I reload the page, see my first name is now here, so I have to put the first name here only. Then that's when it becomes a valid entry, correct? If I misplace my entries, it does not become a valid entry, right? So this is how it's going to work. I'm going to close it and run the bot now and show you how fast and quick it can do, or it can process things. Okay. So this is how we generally run it here. So it's going to open a complete new session for me. See, it is opening the browser by itself. I'm not touching. See, it has clicked on start. It has start filling it. See, even though the positions are changing, it is least bothered. It is able to put everything in proper place. See, so what it did, it filled everything, it closed the browser, and it showed me the result that, hey, congratulations, your success rate is 100%. 70 fields out of 70 fields filled in just 12 seconds. Now, the moment I click OK, my program ends. So imagine the benefit of creating a robot like this. So now let's say I go ahead and add 300 more datas in that field. It is still will take some, let's say for more 300 entries, it will take 1 minute more, 2 minutes more, right? But the execution becomes damn fast. So I as an agent go and manually copy paste. Whereas if I run it once again, I'll show you guys. It opens up the browser by itself. It will go to the site. It's going to click on start. See, it is auto filling everything. Every time the fields are changing. But if you see, it is putting entry exactly same. Wherever the last name, wherever the first name, wherever the result, everywhere. See, every time it is giving me a success rate of 100%. So in case it 70 fields out of 70, it missed anything, you get the count. So let's say I filled only 60, I missed 10. So I have an error rate of 10%, right? But here, still I developed it, and and since it's running on the web, it bit depends a little bit on your internet speed also. See here, it took 1 second. I mean, very here it completed it in, let's say, almost 11 seconds. Now let me okay it and let me run it again.
I think, Paul, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I just paused it because I clicked somewhere else in the middle. So I'm gonna run it again now. So first it reads the data at the backend. If you could see, I have an Excel icon at the task manager, right? That means first it has opened my Excel file. It read the data from the Excel file, and then it has started processing and filling my web page. If you see here, my Excel is open and I haven't opened it. It's the bot which has opened the Excel, and it has read the entire tabular data and went ahead and filled the form on the web and give me a measure. See, now I have almost 11 seconds, I mean 11,000 something milliseconds, right? So this is how, and I have a success rate of 100%. That means I am not missing any field at any time. Whatever position it comes, okay, whatever position it comes, I am not missing anything. Okay, so this is how generally the concept of automation works. Now you can get a feel of why people are moving ahead and move. See, this is a very small use case which I've shown you. It's a dummy, it's a toy example, but imagine at an enterprise level what happens, right? When you have 2000 entries coming in for a week, you have 3 people doing this copy paste work, you can get rid of everybody at the first day itself. I give you this bot. Any questions?
I have a question.
Mhm.
Now, as a business analyst, right? So is our role more of running, let's say, for example, the attended bots, or also do we have to run unattended ones? I mean, try to make sure the unattended one are working perfectly fine. Like, what exactly are we supposed to know in terms of this platform, the uipath platform?
See, as a business analyst, you don't have to know how to code it. The purpose of showing you how does it work is to get an understanding,
Mm-hmm.
right? Have a sense of feeling how the bot works. Why should I create a bot? And how does it work? So this is the efficiency of a bot. At a very toy level or a toy example level, you can feel the efficiency of a bot. Now imagine if I scale it up with more amount of data and more amount of processes, how quick my things are becoming these days. And I don't need people. I don't need 3 agents to go and copy paste my data on an ERP system on a daily basis. I can have a bot which can do it much faster, much easier, much cheap, much efficient. I have 100% success rate. Bang on. Why should I wait for people to do it? Now, still there are variations to it where you still have a reminder, where you have an attended agent, where you can go and ask somebody to click the bot to start. But high ends are not like that. High end bots are just triggered automatically through orchestrator at a server level. So as a business analyst, you should know the entire architecture of how it works. I have an orchestrator concept in UiPath. I have a bot control room concept in Automation Anywhere. I have a bot designer concept at a blue prism level. So actually the basic architecture of an RPA platform is same. 3 to 4 components are common across any platform. Is just that we have named it differently. UiPath says as an orchestrator, automation anywhere says as a bot. Someone please go on mute. Okay, so UiPath says it as an orchestrator, Automation Anywhere says it as a bot controller, and Blue Prism says it as a bot designer. It's just that the tools are different, the interface is different, but the basic architecture of an RPA platform is same. Now, as a business analyst, to be robust enough, you should think of this entire concept, how it works, so that whenever you are talking to a developer, you don't sound pretty naive, you know, that okay, hey, this guy is functionally good but technically dumb. No, I know the concepts. I can talk to you at a 1% technical level of UiPath. I know what is an attended bot, what is an UiPath agent, what are the features is there, how does an UiPath orchestrator works, what is the concept of an unattended bot, how many different types of licenses are there in an UiPath platform. These are the things why I am adding the additional concepts to your program, is that you are aware of everything. It's good to know things, multiple things little, rather than knowing one thing 100% and I don't know the other. No, the concept doesn't work this way. You limit yourself in that case. So that's why I was thinking that I should show you the benefit, right? So how a platform works. Now you have a visual idea. Okay, this is where the agent looks like. This is how the developer should be using the platform to code it. This is how it will run in a system. All these things would come into your mind, right? So when you design, so anyways, you are not going to run a bot, right? You are not going to do anything, because this is to be done by the business user, the end user who is accountable to run the bot, right? So your perception has to have the end-to-end knowledge, but apply accordingly based on your roles and responsibility.
Now, now that you've talked about the end user, so who does the training for the end user so that they can be able to run the robots? Is it the developer?
Yes, no. Developer doesn't do any training. Developer might help business analysts to set up some time. It would be the business analyst to go and set up some time along with the end users. If it is attended or unattended, or generally there will be a client delivery, no, client handover, right? So it's the business analyst and the program or the project manager responsibility to create a client handover meeting. I mean, to conduct a session. And actually create a user manual as well, that this is the project definition, this is the automation project, okay, this is how the bot is going to run, these are the deadlines. You're going to copy the business requirement from your PDD, what is the frequency, what time it has to run, is it an attended or an unattended. Like this, you can create a user manual and just hand it over to the user and get a client and get the sign off. It is the developers, it's a combination of a developer and BA's role who can explain how to trigger the bot and everything to the client. But yeah, it's not only solely BA, you can pull in people as required.
And okay, good. And how about the testing? Let's say, for example, you are testing so that you can move your features, you know, to the next sprint, right? Like for this sprint, maybe you have to accomplish something. About the testing, who will be doing the testing? Is it a purely business analyst role, or is both?
Nope. So technical level testing. So when development is in progress, it's the task of the developer to do the testing in RPA. There is no separate testing team generally in RPA. I haven't seen yet. So it's the developer who tests it while developing. The developer will do the unit testing. The developer will do the integration testing. The developer will do the black box testing and everything. But when it's given to the user, we have the user acceptance testing, where user goes and tests it. That means client will go and test it so that everything is okay or not, right? So that UAT can be done by the client, where a business analyst can be involved, you know, and business analyst plays a role in getting the test cases from the client. So there I can test a bot. So currently the bot I have shown, right? So the first test case requirement is I should have the Excel file downloaded. If I don't have that list of file downloaded, my code is going to not run, because the bot has to read the data from that Excel first, and then it will go and start filling the waveform. So first requirement of my test case is download the Excel file and save it at a location. So all these things at an UAT level can be worked with the business analyst can work with the client and set up the test cases and ask them, hey, please go ahead and test it in this format and give us a result. Are you satisfied or not, or you need an improvisation to it or not?
Okay.
Got it? So hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
Right. Any further questions?
So when it comes to, like for example, during the development, it's more of developers doing their own testing, making sure that whatever they are coding is working perfectly fine. And now once you take this out to, to the business, then the end users will do the testing for UAT, right?
Oh
Did I
yes,
get it right?
absolutely, absolutely right. Yes. Because when a development happens, the developer would use the test instance of the application. Now currently, let's say the web app which I have showed you, I cannot use a production web app to develop my bot, because if I take a production web app, the entries that the bot is doing, if I save it, it will go and sit back in my production database, right? Now if I keep testing my bot 200 times, 200 dummy entries are going in my database. So that's why always there is a test instance of the application which is needed, where the developer can use it to develop the bot. And once the UAT is confirmed, everything is signed off, he moves the bot from test domain to the production domain. So that's how your handover or your move to production happens, right? So
Yeah.
then we change the test instance of the website to the production instance of the website, so that now when I have a data, the bot reads it, whatever it is, and goes and fills it at a production sub in, at an application production level.
Yeah, yeah. And you guys, I hope you guys understand, Edward. I think Joseph knows about all these production, UAT development instance. Basically, what Paul is trying to say is that production basically means the environment that's gonna be used by the business moving forward once the project is implemented.
Correct.
And
So
then
production,
UAT is more of like testing environment. Development is more of where they do their coding. So those are all different environments. So you can't really start coding and testing in the production environment. That one is usually you deploy your robot or whatever you've done later on once the project is accomplished into the production environment. Is that the right thing, Paul?
yeah, right. And it's not only with RPA, you do any,
Yeah, it's not RP, just anything else.
you do any development, you are into finance and you are given an Oracle tool to test. So test means it will be always test environment,
Yeah.
because once you do the testing, you confirm that, hey, whatever you have written is working perfectly fine, then only the developer is going to move it to the production, right?
Yeah.
So that's why every application in ITUC will always have three instances. One is testing, one is staging, and another is one is development, one is staging, and another is production. Somewhere you don't find this development environment is completely for developers to go and develop, upgrade features and everything, which is not connected to the production. Staging, some softwares does require staging, because when the application is very complex, they keep an intermediate version called as staging. Now staging is almost 95% similar to a production system, but not the production system. So they get a similar environment where they can, again, as a third, as a second layer, they can still go ahead and test their code and everything. And once it passes the staging, then they move it to the production. It's kind of adding a confidence level. Okay, I have passed development environment, I have passed the staging environment, then I have zero chance. I mean, I have, like, let's say 99 point out of chances for my code not to fail on a production environment. So that's how it goes.
Okay, Paul. Another question. I'm sorry. Let me ask this. Now, I'm trying to think about the way we do it from an Oracle implementation perspective, right? So when it comes to, let's say, for example, moving your code, the whole package from one environment to the next, let's say, for example, from testing to production, you the developer, you guys are the ones who do that, right? When it comes to RPA, right? You are the ones who will make sure that you are the one who is moving
No,
them.
no, no, no. It depends. It depends. It depends. Some companies will restrict activities based on the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so if you see the initial video lessons where
Mm-hmm.
I talk about the RPAs and various roles in RPA, you will
Mm-hmm.
find a lot of roles in RPA. It's not only developer. There is architect, there is senior architect, there is developer, there is senior developer,
Yeah.
there are there are implementation engineers. So mostly all these movement of test to production is done by implementation engineers, because you need a server level integration of your
Okay.
program, the RPA to your application. So you generally have your implementation guys who take care of this movement. At some companies the developer itself does it, but it depends how your RPA COE has designed the activities and the roles and responsibility.
Yeah.
Let's say it's a very vast team, it's a huge RPA team of 10-20 members. In that case, your role might be divided only to development, and implementation would be taken by some other guys. But if it's, let's say, small team of 2, 3, 4 members, then you might do an end-to-end responsibility starting from development till the implementation.
Yeah, I get it. Now, let's say, for example, when let's say you guys are going live on a weekend, do you do any little bit of like test? We used to call it like checkout in Oracle. Like once you move to production, right? Like just to make sure that everything is working that weekend before the business they come on Monday. Do you do any little bit of testing on production environment just to make sure that all is working
There is
perfectly?
no testing on production environment. It's always live on production environment. That's why we call it as move to production or go live. To be ensure at an extra level, at a confidence level increasing. That's what I said. You can create a staging level in
Mm-hmm.
between intermediate and put your codes and programs there and test it at a staging level, at a confidence booster. Okay, it's working perfectly fine. It's kind of a double check or a cross check step. Then you push your code to the production and say, okay, I'm going live today.
Okay.
There's no testing that happens in production.
Nothing, zero.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
Okay, Paul, I have a question too.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, using Sam's example, the case studies. So before you go to a project, you don't have an idea of the tool that they're going to select for implementation. Like some, like how he went for the first project, he had the uipath and also the automation anywhere. And so, like, do you need to have learned like learning that all across the three mainly used tools like automation anywhere and also blue prism? Like, do you need to have at least a know-how of the three tools,
See,
since you don't know the tool that the company is going to
yeah,
select?
right.
And then also you need some training for, like, even for
Now I
the
got a question. See, that depends upon you as an individual or as a resource. How do you want to skill up yourself? Now there are 20 tools in the market right now in RPA. Now, let's say if I am a business analyst and I want to upskill myself, I have enough time, knowledge, and capacity. I will think, okay, let me go ahead and learn all the 20 tools. There is no hard and fast rule and no one stops you. If you understand that your company or your organization has 3 different platforms and you can get any platform at any different project, I would say it is better that if you have a little bit of knowledge about all these 3 platforms, it will make your work a little easier. Maybe not at a coding level. That's why I had this session of showing how uipath works. Similarly, you can go and see the overall executional aspect of automation anywhere, the overall executional aspect of the blue prism, just to get a brief understanding of how the tool works. So that when you talk to somebody at a tool level, you don't sound pretty naive. Else, if you don't know the concepts and the terminologies, let's say if you don't know what is an orchestrator term in UiPath, somebody is talking at a meeting that, okay, I'm going to put this bot in orchestrator, blah, blah, blah. It's going to connect to it'll be Greek and Latin. You will say, hey, what the hell is orchestrator, man? I haven't heard of it. I'm a business analyst. So that's why I say that you should be accustomed with the common terminologies. You should know the overall briefing of the platform. You don't have to know line by line coding or development, but be at least aware of how the platform works, how the terminologies are, what are the common used words, verbages that are being used at a platform. Now the word orchestration will never be used when you are attending a meeting of where the bot is developed on automation anywhere. They are not going to use the word called orchestration. They will say bot controller, because based on the platform your verbiage or your name changes. So that's why if you say, but if you know that, oh, okay, bot controller is nothing but same as what orchestrator and uipath, that's how your knowledge expands. So even though you don't know, I mean, you are not much aware, but you know the concept in a meeting. If somebody is talking about bot controller, you will understand, okay, he's talking about central portion where we control the bot. Nothing but an orchestrator in uipath, designer in Blue Prism, and controller in automation anywhere. You got the point? How you connect? Right? I hope that answers your question.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was so. And then the last question is more of what Bob asked. I think there's something I missed. So whenever you prepare the test scripts and then you're doing the testing, so like I would assume like you have like a checklist, like to take like where the bot is performing the to be processes. So like do you sit and ask the developer to test it, like so that you can check on your checklist on the processes that have passed, or like how do you perform?
Developer is gonna test it and give it to you. Give it to the UAT section for doing the user acceptance test. So developer won't sit with you, but you can be a part of the UAT when the client is testing it. So probably if the client has some agent who's gonna run the bot, you can put some time with them. You can go and talk to them. Okay, what time do you run it? He will say, okay, I'm gonna run it today. I'm gonna test it at 10 a.m. So okay, let's set up some time. You go, you attend a session with him, and you see what he is doing, how he is running. Guide him if he's not aware, right? See
Okay.
whether the test cases he has written, or he's trying to use the test cases are appropriate or not, whether you have reviewed the test cases or not. So these are your roles that doesn't tell you as an RPA business analyst. These are your work related responsibilities that has to come in. There's no hard and fast rule, that I'm see, unless and until your organization is instructing you that, okay, you have to do the testing on behalf of the client, there's no hard and fast rule. Everything changes based on how your organization runs. Some client will say, some organization will never involve the BA during testing. Client will say, no, I don't need you guys. I'll do it from myself. Then you don't have to even bother about it.
Okay, thank you.
Paul, do you have any sample test scripts that these guys can see how they look like?
I mean, the video already has a sample test case, right? They know how to create a test case. I think lecture 6 or 7, lecture number 9 or 10 talks about test cases, how they design it. It's there in the video.
All right, cool. Okay, sounds good. Paul, can you maybe schedule some time and show us how the Studio X works?
Yes, actually, Studio X, there are some recent changes that has happened. So now the actually
Have you
focus.
learned it already? Do you know how it works and all that stuff, or not yet?
Yeah. So actually, I explored Studio X little 6-7 months prior, But the thing is, now what happens is, apart from Studio X, there is more versions of UiPath Studio that is coming. There's Studio X, there's Studio T, there is Studio uh, Mobile Project, and all those things. So I will check the current, what is the community version of the free tool is available or not, because I heard they've announced Studio X again and they made clubbed it with Studio once again. So I haven't followed up that, still Studio X would be existing as a separate tool, for that. So I'll check that piece. I'll let you know. So probably if I get something, I'll try to set up some demo for that as well. I'll check on that. Okay.
All right. And another thing is it possible for you to demonstrate how OCR tools work? Like, for example, Abby.
OCR. Okay. Um, isn't it there in the videos? I'm just thinking. OCR. OCR. Okay. Okay.
I remember you talked about it, but I don't think we've seen like
Mm-hmm.
in real, how it's working. Like, telling us, okay, this is what it is, this is how it's doing, like that. Like at least to have an idea of how that is.
I got it. I got it. I got that. Yeah.
I think
Okay.
there was a video for demonstrating the OCR.
You have?
It's the,
It was one of the videos. There's one of the videos that demonstrated OCR using a PDF to an Excel.
isn't it? I think it is there in the video lecture. Yes.
Yeah, I think video, either 8 or something. There's a video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So it talks about native, it talks about three things. It talks about UiPath native extraction. It talks about UiPath extraction from a command line. And then it talks about extraction of an OCR from, let's say you have an image inside a PDF and you want to extract the text. It talks about how do you do that. I think it's an IBM's dummy document that I've used. Isn't it, Joseph?
Yes. There was one PDF that you demonstrated on the data extraction into machine readable.
Yes. So actually, Bob, that was not covered in OCR. So when we discussed about the concept called data scraping, so data scraping is again a portion where you want to scrape anything from the site or scrape anything from an internet or an application. So I think that portion got covered under data scraping because OCR is nothing but it's a data scraping method. But anyways, I'll check if I find anything interesting in terms of OCR implementation. So probably I can check. There is UiPath has come up with their own OCR engine recently. So probably I can check that piece. I'll see if I find anything plugin. I'll show you in the next session. Okay.
What's the name of the engine? Does it have a different name or?
No, it says it's called as UiPath OCR engine. It comes inbuilt with the UiPath Studio.
Ah, okay, I see.
Yeah, previously they integrated with Microsoft OCR, Google OCR, AppBee OCR, but now they have their own OCR engine. So they have their own features of document understanding. So
Cool. I mean, I'm asking about OCR because I tend to see a few questions on OCR from the job interviews. So like which tools are out there, OCR tools and all that. So
yeah.
yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, I think we have James. James joined late. James, are you there? Hello, James. James, you're on mute. I know it's your first day. First days. James, can you hear me? You're on mute. You're on mute, but you don't.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. You don't need to put on your video. That's fine. You can just unmute yourself. You're good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so thank you for joining us. I know you were having a few issues earlier, but first day usually sometimes these things happen. So basically, we usually have our meetings today on Tuesdays from 8 to 9. It's usually 1 hour meeting because also I have some other classes after this for Oracle financials. And basically, in this meeting, what we normally do is we answer mostly students' questions. Paul is the one who drives this training for robotics process automation. And what you'll be studying, what you'll be learning in your materials that we provided to you, you already have the access to the portal. You watch those videos, do the assignments. We expect you to do one assignment every week. So within the week, just have all the questions that, put your questions somewhere and then ask those questions during this session. So this session is usually for Paul to answer any question that you may have. Okay. Usually students usually have a lot of questions because this is a new technology for everybody. So I don't expect you to, to be understanding what you've learned already. So just ask as much as you can. Paul is answer any question. Don't worry how stupid the question is. You're all learning. This is new to everybody. Just ask.
Okay.
Yes, just ask. Yeah, ask anything that you really want to ask about this, because otherwise, at the end of the training, you're really expected to be at least 80% good. 80%.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you are not 80% good, it's very, very hard for us even to help you out, look for a job, or even clients also they want someone who can be able to do these things. So no one wants to hire someone who doesn't know anything, So it's I want to challenge you. Just make sure that you have all those questions as much as you can and post them to Paul. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So
sounds good.
Questions so far?
So far, so good.
Okay, cool. And you already able to log into our training portal. You can watch the videos, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, let me hand over to Paul. Maybe he can say a word or two, and then we can leave because I can see you already passed the hour. Paul.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, James, welcome on board. So I think, yeah, you would have got a glimpse of how we conduct the session, as Bob mentioned rightly. So one thing I'm gonna do is I've received your onboarded email from Bob. So I'm gonna add you to the Dropbox site. So we maintain a Dropbox site for sharing the assignments and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You would get an automated email as well once I add your ID there. So you will have a dedicated folder of your name to which nobody else will have an access. So every module that you go through in the video lecture, excuse me, every module that you go through will be having one assignment at the end, right? So all the other participants, they have completed their assignments because they're running it for quite a bit of time now. So we'll start looking into the videos. These are self-paced ones at your own speed, and you can utilize this hour for asking questions to me. And every assignment, every module has an assignment, so you can do it in any way, like in a Word file or anything. You can convert it to PDF or whatever, in a PPT, whatever is convenient to you. And you have to upload your assignment in the dedicated folder under your name. So the structure is like, under your name there will be folder 1, assignment 1, assignment 2, assignment 3, like this. I have 10 folders going to be created. So you have to go and just ensure you name the file accordingly. Assignment 1, and put it under assignment 1 folder. Assignment 2, put it under assignment 2 folders.
Okay.
Okay. And we
Gotcha.
evaluate actually at the end of the sessions. Like once you complete, I think there'll be like 10 to 12 session of the videos lectures. Excuse me. So once you finish it off and all your assignments are submitted, we evaluate it, and then I share the score with Bob, and he can pass it on to you based on how you did, right? So all the other folks on the call, they are almost done with their assignments, I think. So they're kind of in a revision mode. So probably I'm gonna start evaluating their assignments by this week, and share some share their scorecards by the weekend. So you can get started. right? And I think anything you need, you can ask Bob or you can connect with me. Can let Bob know, he'll help you to connect with me as well.
Okay.
So you're good.
Sounds good.
All right, cool. Yeah, if you have any questions, any concerns within the week and you really want to talk to us, you can always reach out to me on WhatsApp. Just let me know anything, any questions or anything, and I'll definitely respond to you, okay?
Okay.
Don't be stuck. You need to keep moving. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Thanks,
Okay,
everyone.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.